which that got bursted, and today they all are multi-billion-dollar conglomerate, right? So they are at least little cautious. Okay, what kind of product we are building and what value we are delivering to users, so they could able to survive this. Rest all fallen down. So the reason why I am talking about this is again all around the why, right? So this is when the investors, when you say investors, there are two personas. One is the investors who put money in the startups. The second, the leadership team in larger organizations who are willing to invest to make some money, so that of course you make the product mature. So that is when the concept came, the product market fit, right? To build a product which really fits in the market. So it was just waving around the heads of the investors and founders, and yes, many people coined the term. It matured, started lots of frameworks we apply, etc., etc. This is the reason. This is the reason why everybody started thinking there is a need for product market fit. And the questions that came to the mind, right? So broadly into three categories. So now switch the shoes, right? So you think like an investor. First one is it real, right? So the product you have, is it real? That means is it really solving the problem of a user, right? So that you need to play a devil's advocate role to get the answer for the question, and before even take a next step, right? The second is the product, is the market is real. Sorry, first is market is real, whether there is a problem that really exists in the market. Second is what, whether do you really have a product to build, right? So you want to build a driverless car, right? So whether there is a need for driverless car. So whether the existing competitive user persona, the actual manual drivers, is there any problem, right? So are there any problem? Number of increase in the accidents, or lot of cost factor involved. What is the problem, right? So the market really need driverless cars to run on the road. That question you need answer before even starting up ambition of building a driverless car, right? So then come back, okay, now I understood, I am going to build a driverless car. So whether do I really have the capability to build it? It's still on the papers, still on the PowerPoint, or still on the Balsamic or whatever wireframe, right? Do you have really some working version of the product to test it? So without having that, don't even go to talk to the investor or your management and tell, I want to try this product, right? So these two are basic questions. So then they go little to the practicality. Can we win? Can we win? First, if you see whether the product can be competitive. Tomorrow when I go and sell this driverless car, whether the user or the consumer is willing to buy this, instead of he knowing driving skills can operate the car, right? So can your car, the automated car, is a right competitive alternative for the existing scenario, right? So you need to get the answer for that. Unless you have the answer, I don't think you can really, it's not matter of convincing the consumer, right? If you start doing it, you will fail. That is what we have seen a lot of failure stories. You need to really tap whether there is a need exists in the market. And the other one is, can our company be competitive? Again, that is where the leadership alignment comes, right? So today Facebook cannot go and launch a driverless car. It does not really align with their philosophy, right? So in building Meta kind of a platform they are thinking, right? So but Tesla is doing, so they have some other vision. So or Google may do, right? So but not Meta. So in that way the leadership should align what kind of products I am going to build. That's why they are asking, can I win if I build this product? So then comes the philosophy angle of it, right? So is it worth doing? So I have some money, okay, I have interest from the market, okay, I have a product also which works, makes sense. Is it really worth doing? Is it going to make me as a 100x CRM like Salesforce, right? So if you see Salesforce exists, and the next CRMs are still it's not to the scale they exist. Can I become Salesforce in driverless car, right? So if not, it's not really worth doing for me. So they think that way. So they are the investors or leadership, right? So they are not interested to, okay, put money in some product and make it working, get some reviews in Captera, celebrate, no, right? So they think they have a longer vision. They have a the vision which will exist for 10 years minimum, right? So these questions they ask and they reject sometimes, right? So these are typically boardroom discussions happen before even it comes to a PM. Okay, let's go and experiment. So I am just setting the context for that. So I think too much of why we have learnt. Get into what is it, what is product market fit. So I am going to read the definition, so all of us together can read. So what is product market fit? A scenario in which a company's target customers are buying, they started buying your product, started using the product, and they started telling others also, this product is good. So I am using say Amplitude data analytics product, right? So I purchased this, I am using the Amplitude product, and I also tell my colleagues in other data companies or data driven designations, this is really good, you can also try this, right? So word of mouth,
we heard in marketing, right. So, they started telling also directly to the actual prospect, through the platform, through the review forums, can be any channel or social media. So, they started selling without even getting money for you to sell the product, right. So, that is when the product is getting matured, and the company's product in numbers large enough to sustain the product's growth and profitability. How much they are willing to sell to ensure you get a profit and your product grows, right. So, these are tangible measures, right. End of the day your growth is tangible, or you should measure it. So, you are able to measure the growth and profit to the extent when your consumers or the users of the product themselves go and sell it. That is when you grow as a Google of today, or as a Facebook of today, Tesla of today, whatever it is, right. So, that is how you grow. The interesting and little bit demotivating insight, right. So, out of 5 startup founders, only one find the real product market fit, right. So, the second on the same lines, right. So, out of whatever products you have, again these are the source from the recently I read an article from Oxford, very interesting. I can share the article also, link offline. So, they also say only 22% probability first time any product can really have a fit to the market, 22%, right, first time. Second time, assume we will learn the framework in a minute. So, second time when you again attempt the same product, the probability is only 34%, still you will fail, right, still fail, but still there is 50% increase from 22 to 34. That means, it is not a black and white or a science we are talking here, we are discussing about an art, right. So, art there is no boundary, right. So, there is no formula, there is no framework, nothing, but that does not mean we should not learn, right. So, we know how other companies have failed or have been successful, what works, some framework, we can see how we can take it back home and apply in the products which we all of us are working. So, that is what we are going to do. So, this is not a demotivate, but this is the reality of the product market fit and how it is matured in the product ecosystem. So, this is the pyramid all of us should remember, just like Maslow's hierarchy all of us know, right. So, basic needs and all that, right. So, as PM this is our Maslow's hierarchy for product market fit, of course. So, we should start with the target customer. So, before building a product, find the customer and find the user persona also to be more precise, and then try to find the underserved needs. So, what are the underserved? That means, there is a user persona who is having a problem not solved by anybody else. That is I think we cannot say there is a problem which nobody is solving, right. So, we have seen the Lokesh session, there are direct, indirect, substitutes and all that. So, we can pick some area where remotely somebody is trying to solve a problem, but still there is a lot of potential if we can directly go and solve. That is also another classic scenario. So, we have to find that underserved needs, and then if we have these two, we understand the market theoretically, right. So, then become a product guy and start to find, okay, I identified a problem, I am going to introduce the new product, and what is the value proposition, how uniquely I am going to take this product to the customers. That is when the value proposition comes. It is a typical differentiator, however we call it, how uniquely we want to take the product to the market, and then comes the feature set, right. The feature set, like Lokesh said, it is not the diarrhea we have to build, we have to build the top features which is solving the key problems. So, we will discuss about MVP in a minute. So, this is basically a short priority list of features which is must have to even build the basic version of the product and take it to the customer, right. So, how to do it, we will see how we can try to do it. That is the feature set, and then user experience. Once you have some working model or the engine, build the experience, so that your end user feels comfortable or seamless to make use of the product, and try to of course solve the problem of that particular product for which we have built. And Mark Andreessen is a very popular guy, most of you may already know. This guy is always called the father of product market fit and all that. So, he only coined this product market fit, or he always given the credit. So, he gives interesting definition, not the theoretical one which we are seeing. He says product market fit means finding a good market, first the market, the bottom of the pyramid, then with the product capable of satisfying that market, and then go upward and bring it, right. So, it is not the other way around. First you find the market problem, go upwards, build the product, take it to customer, test it, repeat the cycle, right. So, this is the way to look at it. So, it is not like I have idea, let me go and try, right. So, that is not the way to start the process. First try to understand what is the problem, right. So, do not jump into solution, that is what they say, do not get into solutioning part. Product manager's role is not to get into solution, is to understand the problem, keep understanding problem. Solution can be found by the engineers, found by the designers, found by the sales guy, marketing guy, right? So we should digest the problem, why this problem really exists, right? So you should wear the shoe of the actual user who uses the product. So I thought this is more important than the theoretical definition. So that's why I thought I'll call this out. This guy, by the way, is the one who has built Netscape, right? So popular browser, AOL has purchased before the .com bubble and lot of traction in the market. He is also investor in Tesla and other large Bay Area companies. Okay, so let us now learn how to do it. That is the most challenging part. So yeah, so we will go through the stages in the pyramid which we have just gone through. Probably we can pick some product. If you already have, anybody has any idea, we can start from there and try to apply in the framework, or we can pick any trending product, whichever way you feel. Anybody has any idea, we can Meta. Yes. So we can get more tangible outcome if you pick up a product. Any product you have, any problem you want to solve. Let's not pick the product, go to the market. What is the problem? If you are a product manager from Meta, right? So what is that problem?
They were trying to figure out something like watching movies and everything inside. It's like a place like social media where all the people can come and join in that. So they can virtually interact between people. Physically, I don't want to travel to somewhere to experience.
Okay. So, yeah, so you are getting closer. So we are going to bottom of the pyramid now. So you are saying, I don't want to attend this section by coming to this ThoughtWorks office and physically meet the speakers and all that. Instead, I can sit at my home on a weekend, relax, attend the session through this I don't know, Teams or whatever you use, and then listen, right? So that is the problem they are trying to solve. So overall, the metaverse itself is that's what. Okay, that's good. Interesting case. Okay, so what is the, let's take one use case for better understanding of the framework. Classroom. Okay, good. So who is the target customer for the virtual classroom experience? Student. So typically, let's take a school. The student is the user persona of the Meta classroom. Let's call it, right? So assume Facebook launches tomorrow, right? So you are a product manager in Facebook. So Meta classroom, the user persona is the student. So can we, okay, so what are the top 3 problems you think the user has today? Top 3. There are a lot of problems.
So actually, they will be facing some difficulties in moving into the classroom, and that will be somewhat. Actually, many people like in COVID times, it will be difficult for most of the people to get to the classrooms, and we faced more difficulties at that time. So that was.
So you are saying during any emergency situation, it becomes difficult for a student to come to the school. But that is a problem for sure for a parent. We don't know if it is for the student. Right? That's why we mature. That's okay, makes sense. So difficult to commute to the school in terms of emergency situation in a given locality. Okay.
And as parents, we might think students to study in a best school, which is in Chennai. For that, we have to relocate.
Okay, this is a beautiful use case. Okay.
Instead,
So I want to study in a school like DAV, for example. It's very popular in Chennai. But I am from a remote, not even Coimbatore, even remote from Coimbatore, Pollachi, right? So how can I put my son or daughter into DAV, right? So this is a classical problem. It's another use case. This is a second problem. Third, anybody?
And like for teachers, they will be coming from like top tier colleges, and they will be teaching, right? So for them, it will be difficult for them to travel and move to multiple. They can also take from remote places like for Stanford and Oxford.
Okay, so here one instant feedback. So teacher is another persona in the ecosystem. Let's not deviate. Yeah. Definitely there is a value for teacher. So it's a different brainstorming I have to do. So now we have narrowed down only the student.
Yeah.
Courses, okay.
Particular courses, like for example, I want to pick some taekwondo or some other classes which is not even available in India.
Okay.
Course related.
Okay, so instead of brand of the institute, you wanted to go to the place where there are very different courses.
Like I will have only set of things, like language, science, not to add one more subject in that case.
So limitation in the curriculum.
Correct.
Right. Okay. So that's a great another problem to solve. Sorry.
The level of experience instead of having a video call.
We can learn
immersive
virtual
experience.
space.
So learning is multisensory. Like currently, like Zoom or any traditional way of doing remote learning is not very effective.
Mhm.
So as a student, I need a multisensory experience. So that's what Meta is trying.
Or the problem is
That is still visual only.
video
Yeah.
conferencing isn't good enough to be it
And
doesn't feel very
also,
immersive.
and also we can
So-
if we take some
So
other
we'll take a break. Sorry to interrupt. We are still getting into solutioning.
yeah.
We are only talking about the problems. It's not
Yeah, so
getting into solution.
normally in some of the if we take teams we cannot feel like if there are some other products we cannot
Forget about Teams. Okay. Only
no,
tell the student.
not in teams like some other any other media
Okay.
like,
Okay.
if we take some other products we cannot directly we cannot zoom into the let's take an engine. So if we take an engine we can't zoom in and we cannot see directly what are the parts inside.
Mhm.
So if you take in Meta they are trying to develop like it's like an AR thing, so they are trying to develop something so that we can touch and feel everything, that what's the thing, how it works, everything. So it will be more interactive and it will be easy to learn.
Okay, close to the real world experience. So that's again a solution, but what you are saying is students may find more impact in terms of learning if the virtual experience is closer to the real experience.
The
That's-
actual problem there is I can't commute to be an in-person experience, but I expect in-person experience which I'm not getting from online
Mhm.
through video.
Okay, that's interesting. So yes, and a lot of problem we got. So this is typically right. So this is how as a PM we get a lot of problems in the list. That becomes a backlog. So now we have to prioritize, right? So now let's define a value proposition. We have listed 4-5 problems now. So what is that one value proposition, right? So there is no right or wrong, right? So we are just learning as a team here. So what is that one value proposition do you think the virtual classroom from Meta school can give? You know the problems. Let's not get in again. I'm warning. Don't think what Zoom is trying to do additionally, or Teams or Meta is building. Now you are let's assume. So you are the buyer, right? Assume you are parents. Well, most of you may not, but that's okay. Let's assume you are parents. You are going to take a decision to put your child or a daughter or a son into a school, right? So think like a parent. So you listed the problems. Now you tell me what is that one thing which is important can be translated to a differentiator.
Yeah,
Availability is the availability of course. What is
Distance, I would say. Distance one. Like for example, I want to relate to that. Some schools from different locations.
Mm-hmm.
What is the value proposition?
Okay. Value proposition is okay. Just to define value proposition, it's one unique thing, right? So this Meta school itself can solve a lot of problems, like all the problems you listed. We can market with lot of messaging, right? So we will save the time, for example, for commuting. We will bring in real time experience like the physical school, or we will do a lot of curriculum which is not available in India. We cannot go and market everything. Of course, the marketing team will have all of that, but we need to find one thing which is the top notch, which resonates in the head of the buyer persona or the user persona. That one thing, right? That is value proposition, which you need to talk louder. Other things also you should still talk when you go and sell, right? So that one thing.
The one thing is getting real world experience without being there.
So getting the real world experience. Assume, right? So let's for ease of understanding, or let's assume getting the real world experience is what is important for Meta School to build this product. So we understood the target user and the target buyer persona, and we also identified some of the problems underserved, because today the Zoom or Teams or Google Meets not able to solve. That is why they are indirect competitors, right? So they are not able to solve this. So Meta is going to do something revolutionary. They are going to bring the experience, and where I have to focus to bring the experience close to the real world school experience. That is where whatever you said, right? So I have to now focus on the sensory features, that emotional connect, feel like I am sitting next to the students in the classroom. So I have to focus that instead of focusing on reducing the time to commute, blah blah blah, which Zoom does, Google Meet does, or Teams does, right? So now my USP, unique selling proposition, or the value proposition to the customers is the real world school experience. So Meta is a real world. So now stop saying it's a virtual world. I will now launch a campaign or launch a product which will say real school. It may be the virtual school, but still I will say it's a real school. So that is the how the value proposition typically it takes birth.
It is already a software.
Mhm.
When I'm not trying to do
So which video conferencing are you using in your organization?
I use Zoom.
Zoom. Zoom also has something called break rooms, right? Break rooms. That is exactly how it was born, right? So even when we attend this kind of a session or official meetings, right? So we go for breaks. We go for breaks and we chit chat. We were talking offline on some of the questions, informal chats we're having, right? That is where the breakout room concept has come. I don't know whether it's successful or not. That's still a question. That is where that concept was born, and we have to think how to make this relevant to our persona who is a student in a school. The veranda kind of experience, right? So how we all sit and have lunch, right? So in the veranda in our school days, golden days, we think. So how we can bring similar lunch time for the schools? Lunch time is more relevant than whatever the break rooms for the kids, right? So they don't understand. So lunch time also should be virtual. So they maybe the mom or dad gives the food, they can still chit chat with their friends and have the lunch. So that they will miss if everything is virtual, right? So Meta can focus on that side of the world, right? So probably this is a good one. So of course we cannot have this in V1, assuming subjective less priority. I will launch with this, maybe the sensory input as version 1. Test works, it's awesome. I will belong to 22%. Now I will introduce this kind of a lunch room kind of a thing in my next iteration to belong to the 34% separately. This is the insight I got, and yeah, again we change some enhancements and all. This is where what I think this is a practical problem. This is what Meta will do, right? So they will create a sample. So they will not first go back to the schools which object. They will have a friendly sample set schools. First they will collaborate and use them for the MVP. So then what will happen is with these schools.
Might not get biased. They're friendly.
So I am saying, so now that makes sense. First I need to test the product, right? Without even testing, I don't have bias. To test also, I need some friendly partners, right? So I will use friendly schools, use this product and get the feedback. Now I have
School management, not only users.
not users, friendly school buyer persona, school management, right? So then once I test with them, I have telemetry with list of sample set. Now I go back to those who are having objections, right? See, I have tested with X number of schools where I have 90% acceptance rate. Can we talk? That's how you start your argument, right? Yeah. Okay, I am going to skip this in the interest of time. So this is again, as this will be shared after the discussion. This typical classic framework we can use as a PM whenever we get opportunity to try MVP. It's again the better way of represent whatever we have done one experiment for the same. The Meta goggle we were discussing, create the market version and straightforward template, update all the discussion points what we had here, the template, and again this is another way to present to the management, like Lokesh shared some template, how to present the product market fit to your leaders, right? So be it a startup, it's larger companies, so you can use this template, list everything in a structured way. So that's a leaders typical, like if you narrate a story in a structured way, it's of course saves that time and it also build good perception, right, towards the PMs. So this is a framework you can adopt with whatever the discussions we had.
And this is the business model canvas. It's a famous framework. Whenever you are starting a company also you can apply this and you can project the business model based on that.
That's right. So coming to the metrics, there are a lot of metrics depending on the product, depending on the context, depending on the stage of experience. So every PMs we will have to collect. So we translate metrics into our insights. So yeah, of course we have to collect as much telemetry as we can, but these are very critical top level metrics. We were talking about the revenue to decide which part of the stage we are in. So not just the revenue, these are also very critical. So NPS is nothing but net promoter score. Typically we talk to the customers, it's a survey, right? It's a survey kind of interaction with customers. We give a scale of 1 to 10, how likely you are going to recommend, right? So we will ask overall product feedback, overall feature feedback, and of course unbiased feedback we have to collect from the customers, not like the product review forums we were discussing in the morning. And with that feedback, yeah, we will try to understand how much this MVP is really making sense, and that will give some insights. And the churn rate, right? So I launched the product and people are using for the initial yeah. Yeah, so see, it can you,
It is based on 1 to 10 you get the score. If a customer is providing a feedback from 1 to 6, they are called as detractors, who doesn't like the product. And 7 to 8 is neutral people, and 9 to 10 is promoters. So you should be in the promoter scale. So promoters, neutral and detractors.
Okay, so the promoter matlab like means like they'll take and
They are the one who likely they give that word of mouth to other people.
okay, so they'll be like our evangelist
Correct.
actually,
Huh.
or the ambassador person.
That's correct. You are right. And only if that promoter segment is significant when you do a MVP, that is a positive signal.
Okay.
If it is not really significant, right?
If it's at 7 or 8, like still we have
Neutral.
to.
It's still neutral. You have to again go back and think, are you doing the right thing, and then brainstorm.
More like a bullseye, we have to hit that like promoter
Yes.
score has to be high.
Yes, yes. So the 22% it should be above 8.
Okay.
If not, you are still under the 78% bucket. Churn rate is a classic SaaS metric. So out of whatever initial set of customers who purchase your product, so how frequently they are churning, they are switching to other products or stop using the products. So this churn rate, this again gives our drop in the growth. And the growth rate is the adoption of the product. A lot of metrics, you can find SaaS metrics on the growth, and the market share naturally, right. So if you are getting in a new market, your share matters. How Salesforce is the leader, the CRM today. So yeah, we need to ensure we increase our market share as we grow. That is also very critical top level metrics. So I am only sharing the top level metrics, FYI. Lot of metrics you will find lot of forums about the SaaS products, but you have to associate everything to this top level, so that it gives a narrative whether the product is overall doing good, MVP is really maturing or not. So you can connect the dots and make the top level storyline for your leaders. If you are a founder, for you. And yeah, these are quantitative. Qualitative, of course, the word of mouth. That is, if you go back to the definition we read, right. So your customers or the users should sell your product, not the sales team, right. So of course sales team will do, but once they start selling, then hire some sales professionals who are rockstar sales guys who can sell your product, take to markets, geographies, etc., right.
Churn rate is possible only after we launch the product. MVP we can't measure this churn rate. We don't.
Makes sense. And again, depending on the scale of your test. So if Meta kind of a company, right, so they will launch a product and they will not launch for free. They will give some maybe minimal rating for the existing customers, they will still pay.
So the paid POC kind of ads.
Kind, you are right. Paid POC will be the right metric for churn for MVP, yes. Word of mouth, and the other one's calls and industry analysts. Industry analysts, nothing but the Gartner, Forrester, which Lokesh was telling. So all of them should talk about you. So then only that means you are really making some impact in the market which you are catering to. And of course the media also plays a critical role. So they should start making noise on your behalf. These are some of the qualitative signals. That means yeah, the product is growing or the market itself is growing. Either ways it's true. So this is the classic product market fit journey they call. So we were only talking about this, how to cross the 0 to 1 million, because that is very critical. Other things will naturally happen. So a lot of process, lot of frameworks, everything will happen later. First you need to identify your market fit for the product you are building. Once you have a successful product, then you will fit the product in the existing product channel or the portfolio. How as a portfolio we can build, and then yeah, the rest is to scale and your market share will increase. That is how you mature as a product segment. In fact, the interesting, it's again the social media joke, or in fact the real joke cracked by Dropbox founders. They always say product market fit is like a landmine, right. So it's very difficult to identify where it is, but once you keep a leg on top of it, either you explode or you can't escape, right. So that's a product market fit. Until finding it, it's difficult. That initial 0 to 1 million revenue, once you make, and it will slowly grow to 1 to 10 million. After 10 million, even if you don't want, people will start buying your product. Right? That's a landmine. The explosion you cannot stop. So that is the aspiration every PM should have whenever we start working on any product or any new launch, anything, or existing products also, right, to keep it relevant. And Peter Thiel also is very popular guy in the SaaS world. If all of you may be familiar, he is again part of the PayPal mafia they call, right. So along with Elon Musk and all that, he is a very popular guy, controversial guy also. But parking all the controversies aside, so he also says, so it's very important to build a platform. So unless you have 100 million revenue, which is the last segment we discussed, you are not a platform. So why platform, right. So just to give some context here, so if you want to grow from product market fit stage, what we are seeing here, right, to the channel product fit and the maturity, you cannot survive as a single product. It is not possible. You have to build a platform. The platform is like so Google search engine, Facebook, right. So, these are no more called as products, these are platforms, right. So, platform, just to define, so platform is a place where you build a ecosystem where others can come, contribute and build their business models.
Shopify here to one.
Yeah, exactly. Shopify is a beautiful example. So, Shopify, they are, see, for them the target customers, users or the business owners, right. Business owners, entrepreneurs, right. So, they may not have time to build an e-commerce site and launch. I come to Shopify, I build my e-commerce portal to sell t-shirts, launch, my job is done, right. So, as the Shopify, I mean as these businesses grow, Shopify also will grow. So, I build an Android platform operating system, so lot of apps will come and they launch, right. So, as more and more apps come, I can generate revenue from all of them. I build a search engine, so all the businesses will add the tags, the signals here, so everybody, end users will come and search. As it grows, I make money, right. So, end of the day, they are the platforms, Facebook, social media platform, all the business come and use for their marketing purposes, they all grow, we all grow together. So, you see that is again a maturity stage, that is why I am not spending much time there. So, you need to aspire to become a platform. So, that is after 100 million. So, day one we can't think to build a platform, right. So, in that way let us build a product which makes sense to the customer, then become mature, build a platform. Okay, some takeaways, hopefully all of us will agree. So, what matters is to build and ship something really matters. I always like this quote and I also follow as a personal philosophy. As a product manager, it is very important to build and ship something really matters, right. So, people do not have time, they do not have money to experiment with our skill set. So, we should be super cautious to ensure whatever features we build, so whatever the discussions we have, whatever, yesterday there was some social media trend was happening and what Elon Musk has sent to the employees, if I do not know if you guys are following, right. So, not to join meetings, how to make more productivity and all that, right. So,
6 points to make your work efficient.
6 points to, right. So, it vaguely applies to the PMs, right. So, we need to optimize our time. So, we have to talk to a lot of people, sales, marketing, engineering, QA team, design team, right. So, off of our, if you see there are a lot of articles on how a typical PM's day look like, we talk to a lot of people. So, then we have to bring this Elon Musk 6 points to our work, right. So, how to optimize our time, right. So, people see, I am not blaming the other stakeholder because they have, everybody has different priorities, different thought process, different backgrounds, right. So, we should learn the art of filtering, what is useful, how it is applicable to the MVP or the product we are building. So, that is again an art, it is not science, it is a disclaimer, we will learn eventually as a PM. So, that is everybody attempt to learn that art and make mistakes faster and fail as early as possible. So, we are not affordable to make costly mistakes as PMs, neither the founder of the company or if you are happen to be entrepreneur, we will be affordable or the leadership will be affordable. So, the research or the insights or the data we use should be super concise, so that either we get a go ahead signal from the leadership or if it is not also we should learn quickly, adopt fast